What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we have a banger of an idea. The NBA All-Star game just got over, and as we all know, Team LeBron won. But something did happen before the All-Star game occurred where Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were both ruled out due to contact tracing with their barber. And it just begs the question, what if Simmons and Embiid would have got to the All-Star game and every single All-Star in the NBA had a chance to be out for 2 weeks because of, obviously, as we all know, that thing that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. So what if 2 weeks we didn't have any NBA All-Stars? But I'm taking that a step further. What if we went a whole season without any of the 2021 NBA All-Stars? So what would the teams look like? What would be different? So the Nets wouldn't have KD, Kyrie, or James Harden. The Jazz wouldn't have Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, or Rudy Gobert. And it just begs the question, and I just really want to see, interestingly, to see who would lead the NBA, what teams would be the best, and all that. So if you guys enjoy this one, make sure you leave a like. If you love that idea, make sure you leave a like. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. If you like the idea, all that jazz, man, make sure you guys hit that sub button. But for now, let's do this, and let's see who would lead the NBA in scoring, what team would be the best, because I'm excited to see this myself. I want to go down each roster and show you what every player is missing, because right now, as of all players in the NBA, the best player in the NBA right now is Jimmy Butler, apparently at a 90 overall, man, which is just crazy to think about. So the 76ers obviously no longer have Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, and Tobias Harris is the best player in Philadelphia. That's just funny to think about. The Bucks don't have Giannis. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday will be leading the way. The Bulls don't have Levine. They'll have Lauri Markkanen, Trae Young, or Thaddeus Young, not Trae Young, sorry. Wendell Carter, Otto Porter to deal with. You got Jarrett Allen. Obviously, the Cavaliers weren't affected by this. They didn't have any All-Stars. So the Celtics, no Tatum, no Jaylen Brown. So Kemba Walker will be kind of leading the way like he used to back in Charlotte days. Serge Ibaka, the Clippers. All right, Serge Ibaka is your best player. That's a problem. The Clippers don't have Kawhi or Paul George. And then you got John Morant, and the Grizzlies not being affected. They didn't have any NBA All-Stars, obviously. I feel like the Hawks are going to benefit from this. Like, they obviously have a very good roster. Trae Young was not an All-Star this year, which some people believed he was snubbed. But he was not an All-Star. And the Hawks roster is not affected because, obviously, they didn't have any All-Stars. Like I said, I'm going to use the Miami for this one because I feel like, or the Miami Heat for this one because I feel like the Miami Heat are going to be a top contender in the simulation, but we'll see. And we got the Hornets not affected because LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward weren't All-Stars. The Jazz, they lose Mike Conley, they lose Donovan Mitchell, and they lose Rudy Gobert in this situation. So Jordan Clarkson is the best player right now, which is crazy. And then the Kings weren't affected. The Knicks lose Julius Randle, so Mitchell Robinson is their best player. The Lakers lose Anthony Davis and LeBron James, which is just not a good sight for LA, obviously. The Magic don't have Nikola Vucevic. Evan Fournier will be the best player, along with Jonathan Isaac, Aaron Gordon. You got Porzingis, Jalen Brunson. They don't have Luka Doncic, so the Mavericks are without their best player. The Nets lost, obviously, three of top 5 NBA players, arguably with Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant not being here. And obviously, they did sign Blake Griffin, but he is not on the roster yet. It's not that big of a deal. I won't worry about it. And the Nuggets don't have Nikola Jokic. The Pacers don't have Sabonis. The Pelicans don't have Zion. The Pistons weren't affected. The Raptors weren't affected. The Rockets weren't affected. The Spurs, I feel like, are going to have a really good simulation as well because they've been really good this year. And you got the Suns, who don't have Chris Paul or Devin Booker. The Thunder weren't affected. The Timberwolves weren't affected. And I feel like the Timberwolves could be really good in the simulation as well. The Blazers obviously don't have Damian Lillard, which is the heart and soul of Portland, so I'm a little scared of this. And then the Warriors don't have Stephen Curry, and last but not least, the Wizards don't have Bradley Beal. So I'm very, very interested to see who's going to make the playoffs and what's going to happen in the simulation, obviously. So I'm going to fix the rotation and kind of put the best rotation we can out there. One thing I do want to do real quick is make sure injuries are off, and I always turn off progressive fatigue. But other than that, I'm really, really curious to see who's going to lead the NBA. So I'm going to probably simulate to like January 1st, and let's see through the first month who's leading the league in scoring, leading the league, and our in standings, like which teams are the best. Like, I'm definitely curious to see what we're gonna be seeing here. So it looks like Miami, we're off to a bad start, but obviously this isn't really necessarily a rebuild, but I just kind of wanted to see. I feel like Miami was gonna be really good, but so far I am incorrect. So looking at player stats, we look at maybe I'll wait for league leaders until the end. That way we kind of get a big surprise. But I do want to look at the standings real quick. So Cleveland is 12-3. Charlotte's really good. Atlanta's really good. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. Brooklyn is 5-10, which is just totally opposite of what we know. The Nuggets are 11-2. So even without Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets are doing good. And even without Luka and Devin Booker, Chris Paul. The Suns are pretty good, even without Kawhi and Paul George. Like, this is really interesting, actually. But I think I'm going to simulate the whole regular season, and we could sit back and see what happens. I might stop at the trade deadline to see what trades are made and all that, and then, like, maybe who the All-Stars will be and all that. So I feel like that could be fun. So I'll probably simulate to, like, this point. And that way we can kind of watch the All-Star draft and all that and see who gets drafted where and which players are NBA All-Stars for the first time in their career, potentially. So it looks like the team all-star captains are Jimmy Butler and Karl Towns. So we have Team Jimmy and we have Team Carl Anthony. Okay, I like that. But let's see our draft all remaining picks. So we have Russ Westbrook as a 10-time All-Star. Tobias Harris gets a first-time All-Star nod. You got John Morant as well, first-time All-Star. Jamal Murray, DeAndre Ayton, Montrezl Harrell, even an All-Star. Shea, a first-time All-Star. McCollum. We got Clint Capella in there, Christian Wood, and Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay, interesting. So I was really curious to see who the All-Stars would be. And we got Clay, obviously, Kyle Lowry. I just get some of the guys that were already All-Stars, Russell Westbrook. But, man, I mean, Montrezl Harrell, Ayton, Jamal Murray, Shea, all being All-Stars. Very, very interesting to see. Jimmy Butler, of course, drafts his teammate Bam Adebayo. But I do want to simulate to the draft or to the trade deadline and kind of see what trades were made. I'm not going to make any trades, so now we can kind of stop and see if anybody made any crazy trades we can look out. So Alfred Aminu to the Hornets for a first-round pick. I don't know if Aminu was worth a first-round pick by any means, but that trade was made. The Magic trade Terrence Ross for Peyton Pritchard. Okay. The 76ers trade Dwight Howard and Seth Curry for Daniel Tice and Javonte Green. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about that trade. Juan Cho and Ed Davis for Brook Lopez and Sam Merrill. Okay. Ricky Rubio for Robert Covington. Okay, so Timberwolves get Robert Covington back, and the Blazers get Ricky Rubio because they need a point guard because Damian Lillard's obviously not in the league anymore, so that somewhat makes sense. So, okay, those were the only trades that were made, so nothing significant. So, I was going to go ahead and submit the rest of the regular season, and then at the end of the season, we're going to look at the awards, we're going to look at the standings, look at the stats, and see how different the NBA will be without all these guys in the league. I'm going to be honest with you guys, you're not going to believe who won the MVP with all these All-Stars out of the league. I'm about to show you, bro. This is crazy. Pascal Siakam is your most valuable player in the league without any of the 2021 NBA All-Stars. So Pascal Siakam wins MVP, which is just interesting. Rookie of the Year goes LaMelo, so that doesn't change, obviously. Sixth Man of the Year goes to Precious, so that doesn't really change either. So Miami, we still got Precious winning Sixth Man. Defensive Player of the Year goes Jonathan Isaac, so nothing crazy there. Most Improved Player goes Christian Wood, so Nick Nurse Coach of the Year. So nothing insane happened as far as awards other than Siakam obviously winning MVP, which is just crazy. And then Shea, Dinwiddie. Man, Dinwiddie averaged 30 points per game. McCollum 27, Trae Young. Oh my, I cannot wait to look at some of these actual stats. So All-NBA first teams, we have Russell Westbrook, Dinwiddie, and All-NBA first teamer. Wow. As we saw, he did average 30 though with KD, Harden, and Kyrie out of the league, obviously. Siakam, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. So both the Heat players make it. All NBA second team got Trae Young, Shea, Tobias Harris is on here, Chris Middleton, Karl Towns, John Morant, D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Aaron Gordon, all NBA third teamer. That is just crazy to think about. He averaged 18 and 8. Okay, Christian Wood. All right, that's not too crazy. And then we got Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, Jonathan Isaac, Jimmy Butler, Drummond. Okay, Russell Westbrook, Matisse, Robert Covington, Siakam, Adebayo. All right, and then all rookie teams, that doesn't really matter because then none of the rookies were all-stars, obviously. So, all right, looking at the playoff standings, though, I actually want to kind of look at the standings and see who missed it, though. So, as far as who made it in the East, so we have Toronto, we have Cleveland, we have Miami. Okay, so none of these guys were affected by any of the All-Stars being deleted from their team, so that makes sense. Neither was Atlanta, neither was Charlotte. But Boston lost Tatum and Brown and still made the playoffs, so that's definitely cool. We have Orlando, who lost Vucevic, and they still made the playoffs. The Knicks lost Julius Randle and still made the playoffs. Wow, that's crazy. Milwaukee missed the playoffs. Indiana missed the playoffs. Detroit, obviously. And then Zach LaVine, that didn't help. And then Bradley Beal. And then Brooklyn misses the playoffs, and Philadelphia missed the playoffs, which is the total opposite, obviously, what it is in real life now. But Brooklyn lost 3 All-Stars, and Philadelphia lost 2, so that makes sense. Now, looking at the Western Conference, Memphis is atop the Western Conference. So Memphis, Houston, and Minnesota weren't affected by the NBA All-Stars, obviously. But Utah was. They lost 3 and still made the playoffs. So Brooklyn, I don't know if you have an excuse. Jordan Clarkson must have went off, honestly. Sacramento wasn't affected. They made the playoffs. Denver still makes the playoffs. Phoenix still makes the playoffs. Thunder made the playoffs. Warriors, Pelicans, Clippers. None of the LA teams making, neither does Portland, neither does Dallas. Wow, okay. So that's crazy to think about. but obviously for obvious reasons. But Utah still in the playoffs, I'm pretty surprised by. I imagine Jordan Clarkson is just averaging buckets. Yeah, 26 points per game. That makes sense. Tim Frazier is starting for them. Okay, Joe Ingles 12, Royce O'Neal was 6, and then Derek Favors with 9.5. So I get, and then Bojan is averaging 21. I was about to say, somebody must be helping out Jordan Clarkson, bro. All right, so very interesting. Now let's go look at league leaders, obviously. So league leaders, who led the league? So we have Shea leading the league in scoring, Dinwiddie with 30 as well, Trae Young with 29, Stephen McCollum with 27, Russell Westbrook with 27, Ingram 26, Clarkson 25, Murray, Harris, Walker, Middleton, D'Angelo Russell, Siakam, Derrick Rose, average 24. Back in the MVP days, Derrick Rose, you love to see that. Dennis Schroeder is averaging 23. Montrezl Harrell is averaging 23. Colin Sexton, De'Aaron Fox, Klay Thompson, obviously, not injured here, is averaging a decent amount of points. Kyle Lowry, 21. Oh, man, Jimmy Butler, 20. John Wall, 20. So, wow, okay. Looking at the actual player stats, though, for the Miami Heat, we can look at Bam. So we had Jimmy Butler 20, which we just saw, and Bam Adebayo with 19 and 12. Okay, and Goran Dragic with 16, Kyrie Irving with 15, and Precious with 14.6. So let's go ahead and see who's going to win the NBA championship with none of the 2021 NBA All-Stars in the league. So somebody current round against Boston. And we do lose in 7, but like I said, I'm not really rebuilding the Miami Heat here, so it's not that big of a deal. So we have Toronto, Atlanta. Moving on, we have Cleveland and Boston, and we got Minnesota and Phoenix, and Memphis and Sacramento. Okay, so simulating the second round, we have Toronto and Boston, and Memphis and Phoenix. So shout out to the Boston Celtics, who lost Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and are still killing it out there. If we go look at the Celtics right now, kind of see what's going on. So they traded for Dwight Howard, so he must be making an impact. Kemba is averaging 25. Marcus Smart's averaging 7. Robert Williams, like, who is helping out Kemba here? We have Tristan Thompson averaging 12. Terrence Ross with 16.5 in the playoffs. So he must be getting getting buckets out there. Seth Curry with 11. So, I mean, I guess Kemba Walker is just carrying the Celtics right now, it seems like. And then Toronto obviously still has their full core roster, and they got Memphis and Phoenix. And I'm surprised by Phoenix. Like, I guess DeAndre Ayton must be having a career year, right? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense. Cameron Payne, Galloway, Mikal Bridges averaging 10.5. Jay Crowder's averaging 11. And DeAndre Ayton is averaging 24. Okay. Cameron Johnson averaging 14. So DeAndre Ayton is carrying the Suns on his back, it looks like. So you love to see that. All right, so let's go ahead and see who's going to win the conference finals. And we got Toronto and Memphis in the NBA finals. So neither team were affected by the NBA All-Stars, but they do both get to the NBA finals. So we got Toronto, who obviously still have, like I said, their full core, which makes sense. Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, Siakam, Chris Boucher, OG Anunoby, Terrence Davis, Aaron Baines. I would have been really impressed if Boston made it all the way, but they did not. And then we got John Morant, Desmond Bane, Justice Wendell, Jaren Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Clark. Okay, so simulating, simulate through game. So simulating game 1. We got Memphis going up 1-0 on the Toronto Raptors. Looking at the box score of game 1, we have Norman Powell with 19, and John Morant got 32 points. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Simulating game 2, Toronto evens it up. We got Siakam with 30, which was the MVP of the league. Not to mention, if you guys remember that, John Morant with 24, Grayson Allen with 19. Game 3 goes to Toronto. Game 4 goes to Toronto, and it almost looks like Toronto might actually, I need to team select them because I kind of want to watch the end of this. Kind of want to see if we can jump into a good game here and kind of see what things would look like here. So let me user control the Toronto Raptors, and then we'll get to some sim casting and jump into a game potentially. So this is game 5 in Toronto. Let's kind of see what happens here. So we're going to be similar to the fourth quarter. Is Memphis going to go ahead and force this to a game 6, or are we about to go home and Toronto's going to be champions once again with all the NBA All-Stars out of the league? It looks like Memphis does have a good lead here going into the fourth quarter, going towards the end of it. So I don't think I'll be jumping into this one technically. So we got the Grizzlies taking it 133 to 116. Siakam dropped 28, but it wasn't enough because John Morant had 29 and 16. Okay, going to Simcast once again. Let's see what's going to happen this time. I always have the habit of going down to tight and deny, but I'm not going to do it obviously because I'm kind of neutral here, watching to see which team does what. It looks like the Raptors might. Okay, so never mind. This game is still somewhat close. Let me slow it down a little bit. This might be a game I'm jumping into. Definitely. It is a 9-point lead. We got 3 minutes left in the game. So honestly, I think that's still, with a 7-point lead, I think Memphis could still come back. So let's jump in and watch this together, and let's see if Memphis makes a comeback, or is Toronto going to be champions this season with none of the NBA All-Stars in the league. has possession here, so they could definitely, you know, keep scoring here and boost their lead even more. They're up 7 right now. OG Anunoby looks like he's got the ball handling due to Siakam on a screen. Let's see if he's gonna do a spinning jump shot. No, he gets denied by, who is that? I have actually no idea who that just was that blocked Siakam shot like that. It's number 2 on the Grizzlies, so whoever that might be, he just did his thing out there. So Ja Morant is on the floor, which is awesome to see. He passes up to Kyle Anderson. My controller batteries are low, but that's fine. Kyle Anderson's going to see. Okay, that was just a bad shot. But he is going to get the offensive rebound. That's huge, honestly. That's huge because every bucket is important here down the stretch. We got Ja Morant trying to take it in, but it is a foul. Oh, my, that's big. Ja Morant just fouled out. Who was that block on? Who just blocked that, bro? I have no idea who number 2 is. I'm tripping. Xavier Tillman. Okay, my bad. So that's Xavier Tillman. Wow, what a beast, bro. That was a nice block. But Ja Morant fouled out, man. That is not good for Memphis here. So they put in Grayson Allen, it looks like. And I think that's Tyus Jones. So it looks like they put in Tyus Jones, maybe. So we got Kyle Lowry, and the Toronto Raptors want to talk this over because they know they got this championship in the bag, man. Ja Morant, you know, fouled out. That's not good. I wonder what Jaren Jackson's doing on the bench. I hope he didn't foul out too, because that's very tough for Memphis. That's a tough break if that's the case. I would love to see Jaren Jackson out there, honestly, right now, but it looks like Memphis wants to go a different direction. They have Jonas Valanciunas. Oh, wait, is that Jaren Jackson out there now? That might be him out there. I don't know if that was actually him. It kind of looked like it. So, all right, so we got Kyle Lowry with 13 points on the night. Apparently, he's player of the game. He had 10 assists, I think, as well. So, let's see what Toronto wants to do on this possession. We have Norman Powell passing it up to Kyle Lowry in the block. We got Norman Powell at the three-point line. He was kind of open for a second, but he decided not to take the shot. All right, let's see what Fred VanVleet wants to do. We have Kyle Lowry. See what he wants to do on the three-point line. He gets a screen from Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher at the basket is gonna shoot it over Jonas Valanciunas pretty easily. Jonas Valanciunas didn't play that great a defense there. Dillon Brooks shoving it up. They are lost without their point guard right now. Their all-star point guard, I should say, because obviously he was an all-star this year. Dillon Brooks is seeing what he can do against Norman Powell. He's going to take another bad shot, and Memphis gets another offensive rebound, and they put it back up this time. So there's still a 7-point lead, but Memphis is taking some bad shots right now. I'm not even going to cap. They are literally just shooting it while they are just absolutely clamped. They need to look for some more open shots. But let's see what Kyle Lowry and the Raptors want to do here. He gets a screen from Chris Boucher. Kyle Lowry's going to... That's just too easy, man. He dribbled right around Jonas Valanciunas with no defense whatsoever. That is not a very good defense. No effort there from Jonas Valanciunas. Let's see what we're going to do on this possession here with Memphis. He's going to get a screen from Brandon Clark. I would throw an alley-oop to the man if they can. But Dillon Brooks is going to go and get blocked by the MVP Pascal Siakam. But once again, Memphis gets another offensive board to keep the game still alive. Memphis has collected 3 offensive rebounds down the stretch. And if I'm Toronto's head coach, I am sick to my stomach right now because this game could definitely probably be over if they did not allow those offensive rebounds. But Boucher is going to go to the basket. He's going to miss, but Toronto gets an offensive board themselves, and he's going to get fouled from the back by Dillon Brooks. So if Memphis would have got that defensive rebound and not allowed that offensive board, that would have been huge. But unfortunately, Chris Boucher is going to the free throw line. He did miss his first one, though, so that's good. We got Justice Winslow coming in. Has Winslow even played a game for the Grizzlies, or am I tripping? I haven't watched a ton of Memphis games. I'm not going to lie. All right, Chris Boucher again makes the second one, so it is a 8-point lead. It is still possible to come back. You know, maybe can shoot 3 threes here and make something happen here. Let's see what we got going on. Dillon Brooks is going to get a screen from, looks like Clark once again. From 3, okay, and it does go in and out, so that's probably a bad sign that this might be all she wrote for Memphis. And yeah, Kyle Lowry gets to the basket with ease with no defense, and Toronto has a 10-point lead going down the stretch here in the fourth quarter. So Dillon Brooks is going to do whatever he can here. He's got to make a quick basket if he wants to keep this game alive. He's going to go to the rim, and he's going to get denied by Norman Powell. So it looks like Toronto has wrapped up yet another championship. Obviously, they had no All-Stars this year, so they weren't affected by it. The deletion of all the 2021 NBA All-Stars. But it is cool to see Toronto win another championship regardless of what the circumstances are. Norman Powell's going to see if he can get another last-second bucket on Winslow. Just kidding. He passes it. Norman Powell gets the ball back, though. He's going to shoot it over Winslow, and he's going to miss. Brandon Clark with, never mind, Chris Boucher with the offensive board. OG Anunoby shoots a mid-range, and that goes in. And just like that, like I said, that is all she wrote for Toronto, for the Grizzlies, I should say. And Toronto is going to be champions once again. So if you guys enjoyed this one, you guys like this simulation scenario, definitely let me know. I would love to hear the feedback if you guys would like to see stuff like this again. I would love to hear you guys for that. So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. But for now, this is Crushables. I'm saying